Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Robin. Good to see you. Good to see that YouTube is up and running. How's everybody? If you would please share, invite your followers in, retweet if you're on Twitter, if you still have a Twitter account, which not many people do. Good morning, Joe. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Good morning, Wanda. Good to see you. Hey, camera must be high up. Why is that, Danielle? Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Debbie. Good chilly morning, Susan. Good morning, Melanie. Hey, Liz W. Miriam, good morning, Susan, everyone. Jesus is King and is coming soon. Absolutely. We have a foot of snow, Robin said, in Kentucky. Oh. I was in shorts yesterday. Okay. Hey, Ron, good morning. Today it's going to be a little bit cooler. It's going to be 60 degrees. We are going to freeze here. So just saying. Good morning, Paula. Good morning. Greetings, Susan, everyone. Sissy said. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sally. Good to see you because it looks down on you. I don't see that it's looking down on me, but anyway, I know. Does everybody else have a good camera angle or is it looking down on me? I don't think that it is, but it's 0 at the house, Wanda said. Oh, it's like 60 some degrees in my house right now and I'm freezing, So, hey, twin crier, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Yeah, I was in a t-shirt yesterday and shorts. Hey, Judy, good morning. Good to see you. All right, camera angle okay for everybody. Just want to point out back there, over there on this shoulder, over there. I can never get this right. Look at that. That's so hard to do. There's my first official Easter for those who celebrate Easter. This is a wreath that I did. It's hard to see, and I've posted it on Facebook, but it's got flowers and eggs, and that's a Sissel bunny there. Yeah, well, I don't know, Danielle. 57 in Jacksonville, North Carolina, Melanie said. I saw a little dog walking. Yeah, that was Hope, twin crier. It's 45 here in Old Hickory, Tennessee. Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's cold, people. It was cold this morning when I went out. It was like 45 degrees. Headed to upper 70s in the Mesa, Arizona, low 50s at night, Liz W said. Yeah, I mean, we need warm weather. Okay, so let me just read a little bit. Oh, where was it? What was I going to read? Wow, I had it. Oh, here we go. Psalm 85. Lord, you have been favorable to your land. You have brought back the captivity of Jacob. You have forgiven in the iniquity of your people. You have covered all their sin. You have taken away all your wrath. You have taken from the fierceness of your anger. Restore us, O God of our salvation, and cause your anger toward us to cease. Will you be angry with us forever? Will you prolong your anger to all generations? Will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you? Show us your mercy, Lord, and grant us your salvation. Amen. Love it, Susan. Sally said 12 degrees in Illinois for Danielle. It was single digits overnight, Robin said, in Kentucky. Woo, gosh. That just is so cold. Good morning, Loretta. That's just way, way, way too cold. Ron said it's a balmy 6 degrees above here in Illinois. Good morning, Bonnie. Good AM PC crashed on the cell phone. Oh no. Well, I'm glad that you made it. So glad that you got here. Judy came over here. Let's see. I feel like that, as Living Grace said. Are you staying in, Robin? Yeah, Robin. I don't think Robin's going to go out. Do you think? I mean, would you go out in that cold? I don't think so. Too cold. Good morning, Lisa. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get started. It's 16 here in Oklahoma. Ugh, you guys, you're freezing me to death here. Panhandle of Texas, 17 degrees, Debbie said. Debbie Treadway, that is just too cold. Too cold, yikes, not here. I was in shorts yesterday. Me too, Miriam. Totally in shorts. 2 degrees here. Feels like it's minus 10, Judy said in Minneapolis. Is that Minnesota? Yes, I'm staying in, Sally. My husband is shoveling. Oh my gosh. That's just too cold. Well, maybe Susan to build a snowman. No, not me. I'm not going in that. I grew up in North Carolina. I remember how cold it was in the mountains of North Carolina. I remember it was at one point 32 degrees below wind chill factor. It had rain, it had frozen and snowed on top of that. No, thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So I'm putting my sleeves down now. You've made me really cold. So I'm having to get warm here. um, I don't. Is there something going on YouTube? Somebody just said that there was something is not looking right on on YouTube. Florida's looking mighty good. No kidding, Judy. Whew, no kidding. Let me look at YouTube and see what's going on. I have no idea how to fix it. Oh wait, that was yesterday's, so that's not going to work. I don't know. Somebody was telling me I looked at YouTube and it's absolutely fine. You may want to check your reception. Donna, you had sent me that message. There's nothing there on Facebook when I go to look at. I mean YouTube. Sorry, when I go to look at it. So it may be your TV or whatever, however you're watching it. So just to let you know. And other people are saying it looks good too. Good morning, Lynn. Good to see you. Sissy said it looks good. Looks good here. Miriam said it looks fine to me. Yeah, something must be wrong with maybe the device she's using or the TV. I don't know. Keep the faith lit, Pastor Leo. Absolutely. All right. So today, starts the second impeachment sham. There's going to be 4 hours to argue why it's unconstitutional. 16 hours to argue the case. Rand Paul said, I think if we're going to criminalize speech and somehow impeach everybody who says, oh, go fight to hear your voices heard, really, we ought to impeach Chuck Schumer then, which I think is a great idea. He went to the Supreme Court. This is what Rand Paul said that Schumer did. He went to the Supreme Court, stood in front of the Supreme Court and said specifically, hey, Justice Neil Gorsuch, hey, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, you've unleashed a whirlwind and you're going to pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you continue with these awful decisions. So, in other words, the Democrats can do whatever they want to do, but when you use your free speech, you're not allowed to do that. It should only take a second. Ruth said, yeah, it really, but there's a difference of opinion. Some say it's unconstitutional and some say it isn't. And, they will argue forever on that, I am sure. And I think right after this impeachment sham is done, if they say that it is constitutional, if the Republicans had any cojones, which they don't, we should impeach Obama for all of the injustices like Benghazi, the Iran nuclear deal, Uranium One. But, they have invoked violence so many times. Hypocrites. Absolutely. Absolutely. Waves to all. Bathing suit weather in Pennsylvania, 32 and cloudy. Oh, waves to all. I don't know. That's pretty cold. That I have to tell you, that's pretty cold. All right. Lindsey Graham, I guess this is Sean Hannity said to Lindsey Graham. By the way, I don't watch Sean Hannity anymore because he's on Fox, but he said, Senator, I know you've been talking about the issue of bringing in, witnesses. I'm in favor of it. I want this trial to go on. I want to interview Chuck Schumer. I want to interview Joe Biden. I want to interview Kamala Harris. I want to interview Nancy Pelosi. I want to interview Maxine Waters. I want to interview Cory Booker, Eric Holder. I got a whole list. Would you consider looking at my list? Graham's reply, of course, here's what I can tell you. If the House managers want to call one witness, the defense is going to call all the people you named and then some, Graham said. Yeah, and the thing of it is, the defense will, but it won't be Lindsey, because Lindsey can only talk and say what he's going to do and what he never does, So, hello, Gary, good to see you. Maxine said attack them in the streets at restaurants. And Sally, now she says, I never said that. I never did. And even though, we have it on tape, it's still, oh, I see what you're saying. And I don't know what that is. There's something on Clouthub, and I don't know if that's clear. That's from yesterday though, Donna. So I don't know if that's still there on Clouthub. Does anybody else on Clouthub, are you getting a bad video? Let me know. Because if you are, that's Clouthub, and I can tell them about that. So let me know if you're getting a good picture or a bad video over there on Clouthub, please. All right. Now, this is what Scott Walker had to say about the impeachment farce. He said the impeachment trial in the Senate is a sham. The Chief Justice is not presiding because Donald Trump is not the president. The judgment is removal from office and disqualification. What are they doing? What they are doing is not in the Constitution. He sends strongly worded letters. Yeah, he does. That's what Lindsay always does. He's good at letter writing, really good. Get in their faces, create a crowd, tell them they're not welcome anywhere. Yeah, Lynn. And remember, it was Sarah Huckabee Sanders who had to have Secret Service, I'll get it out, Secret Service following her because of all the threats that she was getting, because she was getting run out of restaurants after Maxine said her bit. Yours was not great, okay. Yeah, I'll have to ask them what's going on. Okay, so Waves to All said they're getting a good picture. So I don't know. Some people are, some people aren't, have no idea what that is. You might, if it's a bad picture for you on YouTube, on Clouthub, just go over to YouTube at the Susan Knowles channel. Dlive is always good and clear, Twin Crier said. Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Dems are all a Twitter this morning on Twitter because they have something new to talk about as the impeachment sham trial starts up. It is in regards to breaking New York Times. The Office of Georgia's Secretary of State has started an investigation into Trump's attempts to overturn the state's election results, including the phone call he made to Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes to reverse his loss. So in other words, no matter who you are, you're okay if you have this conversation. But if you're Donald Trump, if you have a conversation that says, go find these votes. I mean, they're out there. We've been told that they're there, however the way he said it. Thank you. Ruru said it's a talk show. Don't worry about the picture. And then said, just kidding. That's cute. I love that. So if you're Donald Trump, if you say words just not exactly the way that the left wants you to say them, then they will take your words, they will construe them the way they want them to be and give it their meaning and get you in trouble, because that's what they do. Robin said, we all saw her say that. Yeah, no kidding, but nothing happens to these evil, lawless people ever, but God await his justice. No one can escape. Exactly, Miriam. We may not see justice here, but one day there will be justice. Now, I want to have a serious conversation with you, which is what I typically do anyway, but I have to just have this conversation. I know it probably doesn't apply to, hey, Clara, to a lot of people in here, but okay. So I've been seeing these same people who told you for the last 4 years to follow a certain letter of the alphabet. I don't think that ever, if you go back and look, there wasn't one thing that they ever said that came true. Justice for man will prevail, Susan. Well, pretty soon, maybe not on this earth, but eventually. I get nervous when you say that, Barbara said. No need to get nervous, Barbara. Let's see, Susan, he could say good morning and they would make an inference to something like, what's so good about the morning when we have only 12 years left of mornings? Exactly, Lynn. No matter what he says, it will be turned the way they want it. It will be given the meaning the way they want it, because they do that too. They change the meaning of things. Some are still saying it. Yes, Judy. So some are still saying that, okay, I heard this one the other day. General Flynn is not saying that there's a plan now, because if he said trust the plan, then he'd be giving away what's going on in effect. That there's behind the scenes that you and I aren't privy to, but somehow these people who tell you to trust different alphabet letters, they know all the plan. They have been given the whole word. They have contacts that we don't have. They have the special red phone and everything else, right? So now we're told not to believe General Flynn because he's trying to distract so that other people who are not just like, the ones that are following these pundits, they don't want them to know what's really happening. And that there's really so much going on behind the scenes, and you're going to be vindicated, and so is Donald Trump, and everything's going to be set right, and all is going to be perfect. Whew, okay, so here, I've even heard, Daddy's going to be speaking from us soon from Donald Trump Jr.'s social media platform, and there's an underground tribunal going on, and that type of thing. And I'm going to start following us. So, well, we had some information from you, and hey, we did not have to pay to listen. We owe you. I have to admit, when all of this was going on before the inauguration, when people were saying, oh, well, this is happening and this is happening over here, and da 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 da, they weren't saying trust the plan because I don't listen to those people, but I was listening to other people who were saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to, okay. What it does, it takes you and puts you on a perpetual roller coaster. You're just like this. Your emotions are just like this all of the time. 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down. That would be, yes. Yeah, Clara. And so basically, by doing that, your adrenaline goes up and then, disappointment. Adrenaline goes back up. Disappointment. Your emotions are taken every which way. This isn't healthy for you. I'm just telling you, it's not healthy for you. It takes you out of reality because you don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen. Twin Crier said Trump would have won if he had had a plan to win. Do not believe them. Psyops, Miriam said. And I'll tell you something. These people continue to get rich off of you. Because for 4 years now, they've been telling you to trust the plan. I guarantee you for the next 4 years, you're going to hear something about the plan. We already have people who are going to Washington, D.C. on March 4th because they think they're going to see President Trump inaugurated as the 19th president. And they're buying out the rooms there. They're renting rooms. They're getting ready for an inauguration. That's not going to happen. The only plan is Jesus's plan. That's right, Miriam. It's unbelievable how many still push that letter. I get people sharing it with me all the time, and I ignore it. God is in control, not me. Well, see, what happens also, Robin, which I'm preaching to the choir here, is that when you sit there and you hold on to somebody's every word, like, oh my gosh, I've just got to have faith. I just got to hold on. And I know it's going to happen because they said it is. And they have contacts and they know people that I don't know. And you're just all anxiety ridden. When you do that, you're not focusing where you should be focused. And you know what I'm going to say here? You should be focused on what God is telling you about what's coming, what we're going into. Now, there are things that are going to start happening that are already happening that people aren't preparing for because they're over here believing that President Trump is going to come back. And that the whole B team is going to leave and we're going to reinstall, the old administration. Listen, nobody would be happier than me if that happened. If it happens, I'll come on here and I'll say how great is today. All right. But I'm not going to sit here and ride the roller coaster when I know other things are coming that I should be focused on. jdfarag.org. If you haven't seen his Bible prophecy updates, there would be a good place to start. If you don't know about the Great Reset, there would be a great place to start. If you haven't heard about Event 201, that would be a great place to go start and look back on and see what's happening. If you haven't seen the purge in the military and what that may mean, that would be a good place to start. But if you're still trusting the plan, you're not going anywhere except allowing certain people to go to the bank to cash in at your behalf. Okay. You're absolutely correct. I was on that roller coaster and it was horrible. Thank God I got wise and fell off, Sissy said. Forget the plan. I want the reveal, Clara said. Actually, some cases are being won in court. Exactly, Rue. And some are going to go to the Supreme Court. What will they do in the Supreme Court? They may just say, oh, gosh, it's so bad that happened. We won't let it happen again. Whatever. Not likely to happen, not with the military purge. JG is very calming to me. Judy said, I know, Rue. MSM won't tell us, though. Yeah, you're not going to hear about a lot of things. I mean, we already know that our invaluable free speech is being taken away from us. And as we sit and trust the plan, we do nothing. As we sat before and listened to people telling us that what was going to happen, people just sat back and didn't look at who was getting elected, maybe getting out there and talking to people about the election, about doing other things, about, for example, look at what's happening with the abortion issue. Babies are still dying. Babies are still getting killed, and we're doing nothing really about it. We still have pregnancy resource centers, they still need funding, but we're trusting the plan, right? And I say that because when I see this happening, it makes me angry. Makes me angry that people that, maybe some people that come in here, some people that watch this show, innocent people are getting taken for a ride. And I hate it. And also, I've started noticing, and this has been going on for a while, and I kind of put it in the back of my mind, but I really started noticing now that they will throw in God as they're talking, because see, God is the new way, I guess, to get Christians involved. And I see Christians, a lot of Christians following these people and believing in the plan and ignoring God's plan. That's disheartening to me. It really is disheartening. Now, if you just don't have anything better to do and you've got all kinds of time and you just want to laugh at people, or laugh at what they're saying, I guess you could go watch that. But if you're going there and trying to get something out of it, and you think that this is, where you should go as a Christian, I don't know. Go to a pastor, and one that still, has the church doors open and teach and preaching the Bible, and ask them where you should be putting your time. Is it in the plan or is it in God's plan? It's two different things. Hey, JC, good to see you, BC. If they did rule in favor, what would truly happen? Probably nothing. Nothing, Sally. There's still slaves in the world, but Ruth said, actually, we are sending money overseas to fund abortion. Yes, we are, Lynn. God's will is what I'm focused on each day, and knowing that he is with us and loves us. Share the gospel. We are his disciples. Good morning, Paula Harden. How are you? Yes, very dangerous. Judy said the sex trade sure is booming since the imposter bee is in office. Well, of course, and again, look at everybody went back and, how long ago was it? Like people were saying, I'm not going to watch the NFL, and everybody, flocked back and watched the NFL. And then people were complaining because the halftime show seemed a little demonic or satanic. Really? Are we surprised at that? Should we be surprised? Of course it was. As I've talked about before, the Super Bowl is one of the biggest money-making days for sex traffickers and prostitution. For gosh sakes, I don't know. Like I said, I'm praying for people to stop believing and following people that are taking your money. And listen, I don't have a problem with anybody that wants to sell. I know some people do, but wants to sell their products or whatever during their scopes. I put my stuff on there. You see my Etsy shop. I have no problem with that. But I will tell you, I come in here every day and I try to give you honesty and truth, the way I see it. I can't do anybody else, but I can do what I, see. And I'm not trying to take you for a ride. And I've never come in here and said, trust Susan's plan. Never. And you'll never hear me say that. And I always tell you, don't follow me. Don't follow anybody. Follow God and do your own research. Good morning, Susan. Read Acts 5 about following man or God, Redeemed Patriot said. Good advice. I don't think it is fair to put people in a box. People can have faith in God and take in different information and question everything. Lisa, it's not about, listen, when you know things are a scam, or when you're trusting people that have told you for 4 years that you should trust them, and then nothing came true. I'm not putting people in a box. They put themselves in that box. I don't watch any professional sports, Wanda said. Barbara said, not me. Good morning from sunny South Florida. James Powell said, you come every day and stand for truth. I try to, Sally. With each distraction, we lose further interest in the election issues and those people who risk everything to bring to light with affidavits. Yeah. Again, if somebody told me, trust the plan, and 2 days later or a week later, I saw all these things happening like they said that it was going to happen, I would start having faith more so in what that person was telling me. But when for 4 years, people have said, trust the plan, this and that, nothing has come true. Seek the Lord. He is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no other. The tribulation is coming. The new world order will rule for 7 horrible years. Give your life to Jesus today, Miriam says. Good advice. Is BC in disguise? Okay, wait, so South Dakota is supposed to enact a law that would null and void any of Biden's executive actions. Yeah, again, I tried. I'm not saying this out of trying to hurt other people. Honestly, I am not. I am trying to say, I'm saying this to try to prevent you and those other people from being hurt. I come from a good place. I'm not coming from a bad place. And I know some people will see that and they'll hate me for it and all that. And that's okay. I'm going to say what I feel I need to say, that God would want me to say. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. It's my opinion. It's based on things that I've seen, things that I've experienced, research that I have done. But you don't have to believe me. And you don't. I mean, it's fine. But I have to say what I have to say because I'm compelled to say it. And that's just it. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting that today, Sally. God is trying to get people focused on him, not the things of this world. I thank you, Susan. Thank you, Judy. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Come in here every day and not tell you something? To me, I'm supposed to bring you things that will benefit you, things that won't harm you. We're supposed to all kind of do what God would do and God would have us do. And I'm trying to do that. I'm honestly trying to do that. Susan, you are an amazing soul. Thank you. I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far, Lynn, but I am trying. I'm trying to come from a good place and to help you, to serve you, not to hurt you. Okay, now I want to show you something. This is going to be about a film. It's probably going to last about 5 minutes, but I think it's so important. This is something that it doesn't really matter so much anymore. Let me bring it back. But I think it's so important to kind of understand certain things. There's Gracie, everybody. So let me bring this up for you and let me know if you can't hear it. Put others before yourself in selfless love, storing up for yourself treasures in heaven. Thank you, Redeemed Patriot. That's good idea. God is the plan. Trust him. Yes, there's no plan to get things back to where they were, Miriam said. You continue to speak the truth, Robin said. Thank you, Robin. All right, so I think that trying to protect us is just like the maw. I don't know what the maw is, but the difference is, Lisa, I'm trying to protect you as I would anybody, a friend. I would go to a friend. If a friend were going down a different road than I thought was beneficial to them, I would go to them and say my piece. And anybody who knows me, anybody who's known me for any length of time knows when they come and ask me something, I'm not going to tell you what I think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I honestly believe is the truth and what I feel that God has put upon my heart to tell you. Anybody who knows me knows that. And if you don't know that about me, then you don't know me at all. So I'm not trying to control people. You do whatever you want, but I'm just telling you how I feel right now. And that's it. I'm not telling you to trust the Susan plan because there isn't one. I'm just telling you how I feel. And I do that because I honestly, I care about the people who come in here, the people that come in here that I've gotten to know. I care about you. I really do. Thank you, Susan. You speak truth and love. Thank you, Miriam. In my opinion, the letter alphabet is a psyop to give people false hope, Paula said. Thank you for speaking truth, Helen said. Thank you, Helen. I understand what you're trying to do, but we shouldn't trust anyone but God. Lisa, I've said that over and over. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying that you're not hearing. I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm telling you that basically, yeah, free speech reigns. All I'm telling you is how I'm feeling. And you are free to do anything that you want to do. I care about Rue most of all. That's so true, Rue. Hey, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I only know you from Scopes, but you never let me down. Thank you. We all are allow. I don't know what that means, Lisa, but everybody can, everybody has an opinion. Everybody can say their opinion. But again, as somebody who cares about what happens to the people I know, I'm telling you what I believe is the truth. And you can either listen or not. It's okay. Either way. We appreciate your caring about us. Thank you, Wanda. All right. So again, let me go back here to where we were. I want to play this for you. And I think it's really important. Let me know if you can't hear it. And it's about almost 5 minutes long. But again, I think it's important for you to hear. So here it goes.
This is an idyllic Southern California spring day. As I'm walking out to take the kitchen garbage out, I turn around the corner and pass a big white...
No idea why that wasn't playing. All right. So nobody heard that, right? So then all of the Scope, you're part of our spiritual family. Thank you, Sally. All right. So let me try it again and let me know right away if you can't hear it. Sorry about that. I know. All right, here we go. Hopefully this will work this time.
April 5th, 2016. This is an idyllic Southern California spring day. As I'm walking out to take the kitchen garbage out, I turn around the corner and pass a big white windowless van. All of a sudden the door swings open and this tall uniformed guy steps out and he has a piece of paper in his hands and he says, "Are you David Dlive?" And he says, "I'm with the California Department of Justice. We have a search warrant for your home." And he hands me the warrant. And I think to myself, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? So about 5 or 6 California DOJ agents started stomping through my apartment. The other 5 of them standing on the lawn outside. Some of them were armed with AR-15s. Some of them had canine dogs with them. They had come for me. In 2013, I began and orchestrated an almost 3-year-long, very in-depth, comprehensive investigative journalism study about the harvesting and trafficking of body parts from late-term abortions. There's multiple violations and multiple issues that you very quickly start to learn about when you look into it. There's the basic problem of selling body parts, where you're basically creating a system, creating transactions, creating business relationships that incentivize the objectification and the destruction of human beings in order to keep the business going. So for about 30 months, we went undercover with the explicit purpose of partnering with some of the biggest Planned Parenthood abortion clinics in the country to send their technicians in, harvest body parts from the abortions that were being done that day, and then package up the parts and ship them off to different customers all around the country, sometimes around the world. In July of 2015, we began to release the Undercover video series. I had been hoping that this was something that would, that would maybe generate 100,000 views or something. Instead, what happened was even bigger than I could have imagined. Within less than a week, we had close to 3 million views on YouTube of the first video, and multiple congressional committees announcing that they were launching federal investigations of Planned Parenthood's involvement in fetal trafficking and fetal experimentation. The truth got out there, and the words of Planned Parenthood's own leadership describing their organization's participation in these activities went viral and was being publicized for the whole world to see. looking back on it from the information that we know now, I now know what was going on was that Kamala Harris, at the explicit instruction of Planned Parenthood, had targeted me, and me alone, among all undercover video news gatherers in the state of California, to enforce the California video recording law against me and to punish me for speaking the truth about her powerful campaign donors at Planned Parenthood. What we've come to learn in the years since, just 2 weeks before serving the search warrant on my home, Kamala Harris had a secret meeting in Los Angeles with several top-level executives of Planned Parenthood in California. We then found out from the California DOJ investigator reports that Planned Parenthood's top lawyer in California had specifically instructed the California DOJ agents that Planned Parenthood wanted the video equipment and the computers that I was using to publish the videos to be seized, in order to shut me up, in order to prevent me from continuing to publish the truth about Planned Parenthood's involvement in fetal trafficking, and in order to punish me for speaking out with a message that was disfavored by Planned Parenthood and by Kamala Harris in the state of California. I think what people have to understand about organizations like Planned Parenthood and about their political backers like Kamala Harris is that they're shameless, and they will do whatever they have to do in order to promote their agenda. They'll say whatever they have to say, and they are not afraid to use every bit of power at their disposal to force their agenda through. Kamala Harris is the single greatest threat to First Amendment civil liberties that our country has ever seen. If Kamala Harris is elected to be a heartbeat away from the highest office in the United States of America, you will have someone in the White House who has a radical contempt and disrespect for First Amendment civil liberties, someone who believes that she's entitled to use the powers of her office in order to punish the viewpoints of citizens who disagree with her.
So there you go. I mean, if that isn't chilling, I don't know what is. And to have him say that, in his own words about what he believes that she did is pretty chilling. Let's see. No, I can't see that. No wonder they called her heels. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Diabolical and dangerous. Yeah. Well, for anybody who knew what she was like in California and what she did here, this is just an extension of that. Didn't she rewrite the law on journalistic recordings? Boston T said. Could have been. I don't know. Well, she did she may have in California about, for example, videotaping police officers. I'm not sure if she was involved in that or not. She's a Jezebel, Lynn said. Robin said sickening. Yeah, pretty sickening. And, there again, she's in now. So, all right. Speaking of California, boy, just some good things coming out of California, just like what I just showed you. And this, what I'm about to show you, it just never stops. And I'm being sarcastic in that. This is all about whistleblower allegations. And this is in regards to from the inside of Governor Newsom's $1 billion COVID lab. He wanted to have this lab up and going so they could get results right away and they could get everything about to the people, all the information, because he didn't like what Trump was doing. He wasn't fast enough. So a blistering report came out. This is what this article says. On Monday from CBS 13 in Sacramento, reported thousands of inconclusive test results coming out of Governor Gavin Newsom's $100 million COVID-19 testing lab with the $1.7 billion contract with PerkinElmer. All of this expense was supposed to ramp up testing and processing, but the high number of false positives were concerning. Said the Globe reported on this lab in December and spoke to a confidential source who shared concerns about the PCR test. 3 doctors in Contra Costa County who were concerned with the excessive COVID PCR testing leading to high numbers of false positive results. They spoke out about it. Every PCR kit comes with a package insert that outlines the procedure as well as FDA recommended guidelines. PCR is not FDA approved for screening, and results are only approved if an MD suspects COVID. PCR COVID kits are not approved for contact tracing. All of this adds up to an attempt to boost numbers and create an artificial hospital usage wave, likely for the purpose of continuing to govern California under a state of emergencies. As for the inconsistencies at the lab, CBS 13 interviewed more than half a dozen whistleblowers and obtained dozens of internal records and quality control reports. The documents detail problems ranging from contamination, causing inconclusive results, to swapped samples and inaccurate results sent to patients. And it gets worse. Let me just scroll on down for you. I know you haven't been showing you all this, but you can go back and read it if you like. Records indicate that employees handling patient specimens had not been signed off for competency or crucial skills. Documented competency is required under federal law. The state's new $25 million lab and $1.7 billion contract with PerkinElmer was supposed to revolutionize COVID testing in California. PerkinElmer is contracted to process up to 150,000 COVID tests daily by March and return the results in 24 to 48 hours. CBS 13 also found that the whistleblowers at lab employees were untrained, unlicensed. Some slept on the job, while others were careless with testing materials. Okay, my point being is, if this is happening in California, how much is happening in other states that we're not even hearing about? Yeah, let me give you the link for that. Put this in. I'm going to put it down here in okay, there, you should have it. Let's see. Good morning, Susan and everyone. I came in just before the video. This is no surprise to me about the H person. How do we think we're likely to be? Yeah. Who do you think will likely be her VP? Oh gosh. I can only imagine. Chastity said, I came in late. What's the name of that video? Want to see it? It is, that was from my Facebook page. And just look up David Dlive. I don't know how you say his name. In Planned Parenthood, you'll find it, I'm sure. Shoot, I missed halftime. Judy said, that's okay. They're targeting conservatives that support American values. Yeah. So basically, we don't have a clue what the numbers are. Right. Are these people all evil and they want is money, Miriam said. Remember, her own dad said she was lying. Yes, that's true, Rue. That is absolutely true. H's own father said that she was lying. Okay, so we have just a couple more minutes. I don't know if you saw this headline from yesterday. This is kind of disconcerting as well. This is in Florida. A hacker tried to poison a water supply in Florida, and I think it was near the Super Bowl, and it exposed dangerous vulnerabilities that they have. It just happened that I think one of the workers noticed that that was happening. So if they can do that in Florida, you know, how many other places are they doing that too? My bet for BP would be, my bet would be Pete Buttigieg. That would be mine. Yeah, freedom. There you go. Another nuisance boondoggle. Didn't she rewrite the law of journalistic? Yeah, there. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm thinking Pete Buttigieg, but I have no idea. That name just comes to mind. And that would be, think about that. That would be like a Democrat dream come true. We're not looking at qualifications. It would just be a female and a gay person. You know, that's, they don't look at qualifications. They just look at status or you know, skin color or whatever. I mean, so to me that would be like the team that they would pick every single time. So, and if they're qualified, you know, that's not an issue, but if they're not qualified, to me that's an issue. All right, now in case you were wondering a little bit about Parler. Poor Parler. The Democrats now are after Parler, of course, because, well, just because. Representative Carolyn Maloney, she's got a long list. Look at what she wants to know. Capitalization table showing individuals and entities with direct or indirect ownership interest in Parler, and a shareholder register maintained by you or any third party on your behalf. A list of all individuals and entities who have or had any control over Parler, a list of Parler's creditors, which hold or held debt of at least 10,000, including the type of debt funding amount owed, maturity, blah, blah, blah. All agreements are not limited to consulting, service, or business. All documents of communication referring to or relating to proposed or completed financing gifts. All documents of communication referring to or related to proposal to provide President Donald Trump with an ownership stake in Parler. So in other words, let's get into everything. I want to know everything. God help us, Judy said. Yep, Crowder calls him Buttigieg. Wait, won't Newsom or Cuomo be available? Well, Liz, I'm hoping that Newsom might be available because he's recalled, if nothing else. Adam Schiff, her VP, I don't even think she's that stupid, but it could be. Clara, the least character, yeah. Okay, so it is Bible time. Thank you, Judy. And we are in Hebrews. And all right, here we go, everybody. Let me bring this up on the screen for you so you can follow along. Do not neglect salvation. Therefore, we must give the more earnest heed to the things we have heard, lest we drift away. For if the word spoken through angels provides steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great a salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord, and was confirmed to us by those who heard him? God also bearing witness both with signs and wonders, with various miracles and gifts of the Holy Spirit according to his own will. The Son made lower than angels. For he has not put the world to come, of which we speak, in subjection to angels, but one testified in a certain place, saying, what is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you take care of him? You have made him a little lower than the angels. You have crowned him with glory and honor and set him over the works of your hands. You have put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we do not yet see all things put under him. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, might taste death for everyone, bringing many sons to glory. For it was fitting for him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons to glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he who sanctifies and those who are being sanctified are all of one, for which reason he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare your name to my brethren. In the midst of the assembly I will sing praise to you. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, here I am and the children whom God has given me. Inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, he himself likewise shared in the same, that through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, is the devil, at least those who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For indeed he does not give aid to angels, but he does give aid to the seed of Abraham. Therefore in all things he had to be made like his brethren, that he might be merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make propitiation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself has suffered, being tempted, able to aid those who are tempted. The Son was faithful. Therefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our confession, Jesus Christ, who was faithful to him who appointed him, as Moses also was faithful in all his house. For this one has been counted worthy of more glory than Moses, inasmuch as he who built the house has more honor than the house. For every house is built by someone, but he who built all things is God. And Moses indeed was faithful in all God's house, his house, as a servant, for a testimony of those things which would be spoken afterward. But Christ is a son over his own house, whose house we are, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm to the end. Be faithful. Therefore, as the Holy Spirit says, today, if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, in the day of trial in the wilderness, where your fathers tested me, tried me, and saw my works 40 years. Therefore, I was angry with that generation and said, they always go astray in their heart, and they have not known my ways. So I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest. Beware, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief and departing from the living God. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. For we have become partakers of Christ if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast to the end, while it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion. Failure of the wilderness wanderers. For who, having heard, rebelled? Indeed, was it not all who came out of Egypt led by Moses? Now with whom was he angry 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose corpses fell in the wilderness? And to whom did we swear that they would not enter his rest, but to those who did not obey? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. The promise of rest. Therefore, since a promise remains of entering his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed the gospel was preached to us as well as to them, but the word which they heard did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in those who heard it. For we who have believed do enter that rest, as he has said, so I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest. Although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he has spoken in a certain place of the seventh day in this way. And God rested on the seventh day from all his works. And again in this place they shall not enter my rest. Since therefore it remains that some must enter it, and those to whom it was first preached did not enter because of disobedience, again he designates a certain day, saying in David, today, after such a long time, as it has been said, today you will hear his voice. Do not harden your hearts. For if Joshua had given them rest, then he would not afterward have spoken of another day. There remains, therefore, a rest for the people of God. For he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works, as God did from his. The word discovers our condition. Let us therefore be diligent to enter the rest, lest anyone falling according to the same example of disobedience. For the word of God is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the division of soul and spirit and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And there is no creature hidden from his sight, but all things are naked and open to the eyes of him to whom we must give account, our compassionate high priest. Seeing then that we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come bodily to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Qualifications for high priesthood. For every high priest taken from among men is appointed for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins. He can have compassion on those who are ignorant and going astray, since he himself is also subject to weakness. Because of this, he is required, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer sacrifices for sins. And no man takes this honor to himself, but he who is called by God, just as Aaron was, a priest forever. So also Christ did not glorify himself to become high priest, but it was he who said to him, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. As he also says in another place, you are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with vehement cries and tears to him, who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear, though he was a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And having been perfected, he became the author of eternal salvation to all who obey him, called by God as high priest, according to the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have much to say and hard to explain, since you have become dull of hearing. Spiritual immaturity. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the first principles of the oracles of God, and you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food belongs to those who are of full age, that is, those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And I'm going to stop there and we'll pick that up on Thursday. I know that went fast, Melanie. It really did. Replying to C. Lord, search our hearts, destroy those things that are not pleasing. Amen. Amen. You see over here, looking for a actress. There you go. All right. So anyway, I hope that some of the things that I said today were things that you needed and wanted to hear. Let's see. God bless you, Susan, for all your info and perspective and scripture reading. Thank you, Debbie. Amen. I love Hebrews, Robin said. Thank you, Susan. Stephanie said. I believe we might be better off with aliens from Mars at this point, which is a better potential than any letter of the alphabet, Liz said. Thank you, Susan, and God bless you. Thank you, everybody. God bless you, and God willing, we'll be back here on Thursday to pick up where we left off, and I can probably tell you some more stuff that some people aren't going to like. So it's okay. It really is okay. Everybody has free will, or at least we still do for a little while in this world. So anyway, God bless you. Please share it if you will. And I will see you again on Thursday. Take care, everybody. God bless. Good morning. I'm struggling with any availability of truth coming out, Gary said. Gary, maybe you should watch the replay and hopefully you'll find some truth there. Thank you, Clara. God bless you, Loretta. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Rue. Rue's my favorite, as she just said. Have a good day off. Thank you, Wanda. All right, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you.